Good afternoon, Northwest, and welcome back to this month's edition of Husky Headlines. I'm Julia Haney.
And I'm Salma Salem. First, we travel overseas with Logan and the Northwest Choir to Austria.
Blue by Northwest Choir goes on an annual trip every 2 years. Last year, they went to New York to sing at the famous Carnegie Hall. This year, they went to outside of the country to explore Austria and the Czech Republic.
I was really excited. It's somewhere that I've always wanted to go, and there are amazing cathedrals to sing in there, and history, and honestly history of The Sound of Music, which was one of my favorite movies as a child, and I think a lot of musicians will say the same. And so going somewhere where English is not the first language and having to navigate the city, I think there's just something amazing about being in a place that its history is so old.
During the week-long trip, we visited 3 different places in Europe. Upon arriving at the Munich airport, a 2-hour drive to the first destination, Salzburg, where we visited Fortress Hausenberg and sang at the famous Salzburg Dome and had a masterclass with Andrea Fournier, who was the first female conductor for the Salzburg Dome, and visited some famous places from the movie Sound of Music.
I really love the fortress in Salzburg because the views at the top are just magnificent. I mean, it looks like you're looking at a painting. It's like, this can't even be real. It's so beautiful. And so I think of all the guided tours we took, that is my favorite simply because of the view.
The second place we visited on the trip was Vienna, where we performed at the St. Stephen's Cathedral and the Wiener Multikirche, and also got to visit the modern interactive House of Music Museum and the Phantom of the Opera musical at the Ramid Theater.
They were all awesome. They all had their own specific things I liked about them, but I really did love the tours specifically in Vienna because they were very historic and more about music.
The last place we visited was Prague, where we were able to sing at the St. Nicholas Church and being able to visit the Charles Bridge, the Old Town Square, and the astronomical clock. We also got to see the Prague Castle and the old royal palace, and being able to see the original sheet music of Beethoven's 4th and 5th symphonies.
It was to be the second best shopping district next to Milan, so that was really cool to see all the different little shops. And it was also really cool to sing in all of the cathedrals because out of Vienna, Prague, and Munich, those were probably the best ones.
The Blue Vine Northwest Choir had an amazing time during their trip in Austria. They will surely miss the views, the memorials, and the museums. Choir crew would like to thank Miss Ritchie and to the team that made this trip possible. This is Logan Churchill for Husky Headlines.
What an enjoyable trip.
For sure. Many Huskies celebrate Ramadan. We go to Lily to tell us more.
Ramadan is celebrated by Muslims all over the world. However, despite Islam being the second largest religion in the world, there seems to be many people who don't even know what it is. In this month's edition of Husky Worldwide, we delve into this religion.
Personally, Ramadan is my favorite time of the whole year. I wait for it to come, and it's like a spiritual recharge. It's a time for me to grow and try to become a better person.
I view it as like boot camp. It's that training time. It's that opportunity to really kind of filter out a lot of the bad habits that you might pick up throughout the year and come closer to God through developing good habits.
Not only is this a time for Muslims to get closer to God, but also a time for them to get closer to their community and give back to others.
It's one of the few times throughout the year where there's a majority of the Muslim community in one place, all worshiping together. That doesn't happen very often. I think it's good because people get to know more Muslims.
There's multiple elements for this charity. And so Muslims will give back to their local community. This is known as zakat. Zakat is a mandatory charity that Muslims have to give every single year. It's 2.5% of their income. And so that goes to needy people in the locality. And so people who might be struggling for food or housing and trying to support these areas and uplift these areas.
It definitely brings our community together. It makes us realize that we are one. We are all together in this Ramadan and fasting, and over 2 billion Muslims around the world are doing it with us.
Ramadan is not only a time to connect with your community, but the holiday Eid celebrates their accomplishments throughout the month.
So Eid is like a celebration once we complete all 30 days or 29 days of Ramadan, depending on the lunar calendar. There's a prayer the majority of the community goes to, and after that, usually you go around to different people's houses and just congratulate them.
So Eid is the conclusion of the month of Ramadan. It just means celebration. So we have Eid al-Fitr right after Ramadan. We celebrate with eating and having fun and gathering, and we celebrate a month of devotion and worship.
This month is a journey that shows the values of Islam and their religion that we all know. This is Lily Mesmer for Husky Headline.
Next, Sama tells us about a few Husky staff members who are retiring at the end of the year.
As those at BVNW are preparing to wrap up the school year, others are preparing for a much bigger change. Here are 2 staff members who are retiring from the district at the end of the year.
I'm kind of scared. I've worked in one job or another all my life. Being a librarian was definitely a second career for me. I think I'm coming around to it, but it's taken me a while to think about, not having that purpose of a day-to-day. Being open-ended is going to take some discipline on my part.
Well, I'm not quite ready to hang up the expo marker yet. I will miss Blue Valley Northwest High School because it was a place where I grew immensely. I'm close to my colleagues that are in my department, and I care deeply for my students and the opportunities I've had here. But after retiring from the public school systems, I'm going to give teaching in the private schools a shot.
Mustan and McCabe have both left an impact in their departments with their respective 29 and 15 years of teaching, and hope that they will leave a positive impact on their students.
I feel like I help make the language accessible to students. I think I help make it not as scary, so maybe more students would consider studying Spanish or another language.
Well, I hope that the impact that I've had has really kind of been a team effort with Mr. Odell and I. The kids always know that they're welcome to be here, and that we try to respect them and greet everyone with a smile every day, so that they don't think that we're like the nasty old librarians.
McCabe and Mustan say they have enjoyed their time here and will miss Northwest.
First of all, thank you. It was a blessing to know everybody that I have come across. I also thank my students for putting up with my oddities. I care for every one of them, and I know that each one of them is on a path of growth, and I encourage them to continue.
I've loved to be here. It's a community that is welcoming to people regardless of how you ended up here.
Congratulations to Mrs. McCabe on her retirement, and good luck to Mrs. Mustan on her next journey. This is Salma Salem for Husky Headlines. Julia introduces us to a teacher at Northwest who's been making waves with her artistic talents.
Here at Blue Valley Northwest, creativity thrives in every corner. One talented artist and educator, Chris LaValle, takes her passion for art to the next level. With 27 years of experience, LaValle inspires students by showcasing her artwork in galleries and exhibitions across the country.
Most of the work I make outside of school is more abstract in nature. I use a variety of different medias. I used to paint solely with oils, and I've kind of moved more into acrylic. Now it's a little bit more user-friendly. There's a lot of opportunities out there. You just have to look for them. A lot of it, the shows that I see either are from word of mouth, or I see different Instagram pages that I follow, or there's a website called Call for Entry. So I just search on there, and then I've got some place when I see ones that could possibly work for me, I'll kind of write them down and then decide if I've got work to submit to it, and then submit it.
LaValle finds that when she keeps herself busy with projects, her creativity flows best.
I feel like I don't have a lot of creative blocks. I always try to have more than one thing that I'm working on. So if I feel like one particular piece is at a stagnant spot where I can't work through it, I'll kind of work on something else.
LaValle serves as a mentor for students and other artists.
My experience with Ms. LaValle has been really good over all these 4 years that I've been here. She's always in a great mood when I come into the class. She always uses her own techniques and her own styles to teach the class. During last summer, I was really overwhelmed about what I was going to do after high school. So then I was sending some emails to Ms. LaValle telling her about my summer, asking about hers, and I really felt encouraged from them to pursue art after high school.
I think it's important that students take art because it teaches you a different way to view the world. I had a student recently that he took on a very challenging project, and he worked on it for, I would say, 2 months, and he kept running into roadblock after roadblock. He finally came to me and said, "Ms. Kimbrough, I might fail 100 times, but at least I know that I learned in the process." And I thought, that is what makes art important. And that's why. And I think LaValle does a really good job of teaching the importance of that process and that problem solving and patience, because a lot of students give up. if they can't get it right the first or second time.
To see more of LaValley's work, check out her Instagram at @CLaValleyArt. This is Julia Haney for Husky Headlines.
Creativity thrives here at Northwest.
Anaya tells us about a student who turns craftsmanship into business.
At BVNW, we have many artistic students who use a variety of mediums to express themselves and create things. One student has found something functional to make that people could use every day.
I got into pen making because my dad signed us up for a class at a hardware store, and we kind of took it and we learned how to turn pens. I really loved it because my dad, he blew his up and I was almost perfect, and I was like, this is for me. It was really fun, and it was just something creative and new that I've never heard of before.
Victoria Heidenreich's pen making also allowed her to find a new creative connection with her father.
And it was also like a way to connect with my dad because we don't usually do a whole lot of like creative things together. The thing we connect on is woodworking or doing projects. Anytime I want to feel close to him, we work on a project together.
We're both very busy with various activities and work and school, so it just gives us time to spend together to talk and kind of do things together, so it's a positive. Victoria is very hands-on. She likes to build things and do things, so I just thought that was something that might interest her, so that's why I introduced it to her, and we went down the pen making route, as we'll do other things as well.
Pen making not only gives Heidenreich a creative output, it also allows her to show others she cares.
I've never made a pen for myself. I always make it to give to other people as like birthday presents or gifts. I think pen making is sort of my like love language to my friends. It's something special I do for other people, and it's how I show them I care.
I've known Victoria since like 4th grade once I moved here, and she made me a pen for my birthday last year. It's definitely a really nice sentiment, especially coming from like a close friend, because Victoria's always been a pretty crafty person. It felt really nice that like someone put this like effort into making something for me.
According to Heidenreich, pen making can be a fun experience for anyone interested.
I would definitely recommend it. It's just something fun to do. I know it's like hard to get into, especially if you don't have the machines for it, but I would recommend taking like a class like I did, and it's something fun to try at least once, and you can always have something special to remember it by.
If you're looking for a unique and hands-on activity, try out pen making classes at your local hardware store to make a fun gift for a friend. This is Anaya Zaman for Husky Headlines.
Sophie tells us how our robotics club has been hard at work revitalizing their program.
Blue Valley Northwest is home to a variety of unique clubs. One such group is the Robotics Club, which is a new addition to the list of after-school activities.
So the main goal is to obviously build a robot, but how you know what you need to build the robot to do is each season they release a new game. This season it's called Into the Deep or Deep Dive, and there's a submersible zone and blocks and samples you have to pick up. So we know what to do based on how they release the game or the objectives of the game they release. A lot of the club is strategizing, planning, thinking about what parts make the most sense to accomplish the task. Everyone's always wanting to be super helpful to other teams. To me, that's like a big reason I really like it is competitive, but it's a gracious professionalism where everyone has that goal of winning, but they're always willing to help out other teams, and there's no like putting other team down or laughing at teams when they mess up or something. It happens to everyone, so everyone tries to be helpful, and that's why I've really enjoyed this first season so far.
This year, the Robotics Club had the opportunity to compete in a major state competition.
This year we made it to state as a rookie team, which is really impressive. We were the only true rookie team to make it to the Missouri-Kansas State Championships.
Luckily, we qualified to the Super Qualifier, which was through like the Innovate Award that we won. You play the 6 matches and then they rank you based off your record. We went 4-2, I think, so we were around like 9th. So the top 6 teams were about like 6-0 or like 5-1. Then we got drafted by the second alliance team and were able to make it to the semifinals. And then we got knocked out, and then we won the Inspire Award to go to states.
With collaboration and community being such a vital part of the club, everyone has an important role to play in making everything function.
A lot of them surprise me with what they know how to do already. I think a lot of them come in with some community team experience, or maybe they did like first Lego League in middle school. But we have a good team of about 5 juniors, 1 senior, and 2 sophomores, and all of them bring different things to the table. Some of them know how to code, some of them are better at designing the robot.
So in the group, we have a lot of set roles for everyone. So basically me and Gabe, we are the co-founders and co-presidents, along with Rowan. Me and Gabe handle most of the mechanical and design of the robot, and Rowan leads more of the programming side. He deals with like sensors, automation, driving, etc.
The club grows their strengths as they learn to apply their skills, and through their common interests, they join together and work towards their shared goal. This is Sophie Peterson for Husky Headlines.
Problem solving isn't just for building robots. It's a key skill in competition too.
Our forensics team has been thriving this year. Scarlett tells us more.
Many activities suffered a hit post-COVID and greatly decreased in popularity. One activity in particular that experienced that loss but has seen tremendous growth since is forensics.
So forensics is all about competitive speech and debate. There's 3 different categories: that's speaking, debating, and acting, and there's a bunch of different events you can do. The whole core of forensics is competition, and so a lot of that is public speaking, a lot of that is articulation, a lot of different aspects kind of build into it. But at the core, it is all just about who can speak the best, who can be the most persuasive, whatever it be. And so when I came here, we didn't have a forensics program. I was the only kid who ever had done forensics, and so I kind of restarted the whole program from scratch.
Despite struggles with numbers, members of the forensics team have found support within the activity and built a community.
It's very much a team environment where we listen to each other present, we give constructive feedback and compliments, and it's a very positive environment where we're all trying to be better as a team and improve our performance and our overall ranking.
Everyone has their own interests. Like people are from a bunch of different backgrounds, and so they all have a bunch of different specific interests, specific like personal context, and they can apply that in forensics in different ways depending on what kind of speech they want to give, and also the nature in their giving that speech.
Forensics is a great outlet on how to express yourself. Before every informative I give myself a pep talk that's not remember what you've memorized, it's what you're saying is important.
A lot of times the students, whether at Blue Valley Northwest or from different high schools, do not have the opportunity to express themselves about things that they care about. Forensics gives them that opportunity. I have heard everything from political opinions to personal experiences to trauma to jokes to various things that are able to be expressed through different mediums. Each one of them has a story and a background. And if you came in and heard some of those stories, you might not think that they are pack mates in a squad, and yet they mesh so well together and they support each other. It's never tearing down, it is always building up.
If forensics sounds interesting to you, give it a try. This is Scarlett Chu for Husky Headlines.
Gordon takes us to their field to look at a sport that many in the Midwest are not familiar with.
From 6 to 8 every Monday through Thursday, you can find the Blue Valley Titans lacrosse team practicing at the DAC. Established in 2009, the program is comprised of girls from all 5 Blue Valley schools. Since the team's founding, it has helped develop the sport of lacrosse in the KC metro area. Former player and head coach Kimberly Sigmund has enjoyed her time with the team.
I think it's really cool for me because I played for the Titans, so I got to come back and, hopefully have an impact on these girls and, teach them the game that I love.
In lacrosse, players advance the ball with a stick that has a net or pocket attached to the end, with the goal of scoring in the opposing team's goal. It is a fast-paced game typically played with 10 or 12 players. To the players, however, the experience is much more than just the game of lacrosse.
I made so many great friends, and especially through club, it's really fun to see them, and just the community is super awesome.
I feel like just spending time with people, that's pretty great. I know there's a lot of team dinners and stuff, and that's really fun.
You learn a lot about the girls and, all the things they do outside of lacrosse. It's really cool to get to know them and, spend a lot of time with them.
According to the coaches, it takes a lot for a lacrosse team to be successful.
It always comes down to communication, something I harp on with the girls, but they have to be able to talk with each other, they have to be able to listen.
The girls got to get along with each other, for one. Got to have good coaches. Team captains are huge.
Lacrosse is known for being popular on the East Coast, but it has recently been gaining attention closer to home.
It's definitely growing, yeah. Even our program has grown so much from last year to this year, and I actually think it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world, and it's really cool, especially on the club level, to see the popularity it's gained.
It's been pretty big in Texas, it's big in St. Louis, Ohio is now huge. I think we gotta grow it here in Kansas City a little bit more, get it going in Nebraska a little bit more, but it's definitely growing.
Overall, it looks to be a promising season for the Titans, with plenty of fresh faces.
I'm excited to see the new team. There's a bunch of new players. I know there's some people from out of state that are joining, so I'm pretty excited to see that.
We have such a young team. I'd say 80% of the girls on our team are freshmen and sophomore, and I'm just excited to see. I mean, they've been awesome at practices, picking up the sport pretty well.
You can check out the Titans as they play at home against Park on Tuesday. This is Gordon Alcock for Husky Headlines.
Our spring sports teams are hard at work, with each kicking off their season this month. We go to Game Day Gordo with an update.
What's up, Huskies? Game Day Gordo here with your April HSN report. Our athletes are out and about for spring sports. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Leading off our report, no pun intended, is softball. They opened up the season on April 1st, splitting 2 games with St. James. Seniors Samaya Edwards and Gabby McFall went yard back-to-back in the first inning of the second game, and McFall added another on the night in the 6th inning as the Huskies knocked off the Thunder 8-5. Staying on the diamond, baseball got out to a 2-2 record at press time. They opened up the season with a 6-0 whooping of the defending Missouri State champs Blue Springs behind 7 scoreless innings from starter Trenton Higgins and reliever Gavin McConnell. They play today against Rockhurst, and be sure to check them out on April 15th as they take on Blue Valley West on Dollar Dog Night. Now over to track and field. At the Ottawa meet on April 3rd, both girls and boys finished 3rd out of 10, with Caleb Peterson and Logan Nelson finishing 1st and 2nd in discus. Senior Jay Durham won the 2-mile, and junior Ava Gross-Didier placed in both shot put and discus. They'll compete tomorrow at Blue Valley. Now over to girls soccer, this month's focus of our one-on-one. They were 1-2 heading into EKL play, looking to bounce back. Here's Coach Pothoven with more.
Beginning of the new soccer season, how are we feeling after one game?
Feeling good. It was an excellent start. We graduated a lot of experience last year, and we have plenty of experience coming back, but we're just getting our feet under us right now.
How are you guys dealing with losing all that experience? What are you guys doing to get the younger people used to the program?
Our seniors got together before the season and talked about how they wanted to build on what last year's seniors left, the legacy that they left behind, but they never wanted to focus on being them. They say, we want to be our own identity, we want to be true to us, and that has really helped us bring in new girls and chart a path forward.
What's something you're excited for this year?
I'm excited for the energy and the fun. These girls are goofballs. They always have a great time, and they work hard.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Go Skis.
Go Skis. You heard it here first.
They'll play at home tonight against Blue Valley West. Girls swim and dive started their season with a 4th place finish at the Greg House Invitational, where junior Maggie Dahl finished 1st in the 200 freestyle. They followed that up by winning their meet on April 2nd against Shawnee Mission South and Mill Valley, and their next meet is Tuesday at home. The boys golf team had a rough outing their first 2 tournaments ahead of an April 7th Invitational at Lionsgate. The results of that were not available at press time, and they will golf again this afternoon in Wamego. Boys tennis is off to a hot start, going 2-0 in their first 2 matches with a 23-1 overall game record at press time. They play again Tuesday against Shawnee Mission East. That's all for your HSN report this month. I'm Game Day Gordo. Remember to stay sporty, Northwest. Back to the anchor desk with Sama and Julia.
For this month's edition of H2 Versus, we put Monroe up against our varsity baseball team.
Welcome back to this month's edition of H2 Versus, where we put our very own H2 staff members up against some of our most talented students and teachers. For this month's edition, we went up against the baseball team, who has a new head coach in charge.
So for the past 5 years, I've been an assistant coach at Shawnee Mission East, and so this will be my first season here. We've had a lot of battles over the past few years, which has been really fun, so I've kind of been able to admire this program from afar with some of the stuff that Coach Pangborn was able to do, and even Coach Lang long before that. Over the past 5 years, I've been predominantly the pitching coach at Shawnee Mission East, but over the past couple of years, Coach Will Gordon, who I've coached, or who was the head coach there, I felt like he did a great job of seeing that I was interested in kind of taking that next step and moving to the next level. Over the past probably 2 seasons, he's really thrown more on my plate to understand not just the pitching side of baseball, but baseball as a whole.
Hoover's goal-oriented attitude and positive mindset made a solid impact on his team.
Oh yeah, I love Coach Hoover. He's a great guy, loves to be competitive and compete, and his philosophy is simple and effective.
I think he's doing great. He's got us to where we are. We played some good teams and he's keeping us close, so I think he's helping a lot with this program.
The team's positivity and enthusiasm was shown when they taught our very own Manjot Singh Lamba how to play the game they love. Luckily, he had a bit of an upper hand due to his experience playing cricket.
Playing baseball today was definitely a big learning curve for me. There were definitely lots of difficulties I had, especially with pitching and batting. The style of batting, I was not used to that, since in cricket it's way different than baseball. The guys definitely did a great job walking me through everything. They made sure I understood it, and they were more than open to answer any questions I had.
Manjot did good at catching. A couple things to work on. He just needs to relax and let the ball close his mitt.
Overall, I thought he did really well. And then infield especially because he had some prior experience with cricket. I feel like that helped him out a little bit.
Singh Lamba's cricket skills didn't benefit him when it came to hitting the ball out of the park.
The hardest and least favorite part for me was definitely catching, balancing like that, squatting, and also being able to wait for the ball to go into the mid's pocket. I was impatient and I was closed early. It's definitely a skill set that takes lots of practice to learn, and I'm impatient, so that didn't work out for me.
Yesterday with Manjot, it went well. He had his swing was like, it wasn't bad. You just gotta work on it a little bit. Looked like he had some experience or something. Probably hitting. Can't blame him. Hitting's hard, but you know when you finally hit that one ball, we all went crazy, and that was really fun.
With the ups and downs, the real question is if Singh Lamba could have a future in baseball.
If Manjot decided to play baseball, I think he'd be fine as long as he kept practicing and maintained his positive attitude.
I think if Manjot keeps going, keeps working hard, keeps that positive attitude, then he can do whatever he wants to do, baseball or not.
Probably not. I'm not fast, I don't have a good throwing arm, and not much strength. I probably don't have a future in baseball, but kudos to those guys. Those guys are good. They deserve to be on varsity.
Although Singh Lamba did a good job overall, he has decided to stick to cricket. This is Rylan Jara for Husky Headlines.
You guys knocked that out of the park.
Next, let's head over to the zoo with Jack.
The zoo is a cornerstone of the Kansas City community, providing a rich experience to everyone that is around it. One of the big ways they spread learning is through the Volunteer program, which focuses on teen engagement and giving kids an up-close and hands-on look on what it's like to be a zookeeper. The members of the program have many responsibilities like member engagement and animal care.
Anytime but the summer, I'm a trailblazer, and that entails talking to guests, telling guests about the animals at our zoo, and making sure everything kind of like stays together at the zoo. During the summer, I get to help care for the animals. That is the junior caretaker position, and so I get to do things like I get to feed the animals. I do a lot of cleaning at the zoo. Sometimes that's like my least favorite part, but I get to take care of the baby animals, which is really fun.
Another defining feature of the program is that the teens get to work closely with real zookeepers and other like-minded volunteers.
I get to work with them in the summer really closely. My experience working with other teens has always been really positive. All the teens have a passion for animals as well as me, and so that's really probably one of my favorite parts about working at the zoo.
While being a member of the program is a completely free opportunity for learning, getting into it is far from an easy process.
It's been rough, honestly. I wrote my letter of intent, wrote a resume since I haven't needed one yet, and then I have to get 2 letters of recommendation, but you really shouldn't do like your school or something like that because everyone has that. So to be competitive to get in, because only 33% of people get in, and there's like 60-something people each year or something, so really only 15, 20 kids get picked. But like, if you want to be like a zoologist or anything that's working with animals, especially in the zoo, I say go for it. You could honestly do it in a day if you really tried. Just a Saturday and you're like, I'm applying today, you could write it all out, all of it.
Being a part of the Volunteer program takes time and energy, but most of the members still find the work fulfilling.
So I always knew that I loved animals. I have since I was like 5. And so when I heard about the opportunity at the zoo to volunteer, I realized that I could not only work with the animals, but get others to engage with that like fun of learning with the animals.
If you're interested in applying for the Volunteer program, the start and end dates for the next application cycle will be released in the coming months. And make sure to check out the schedule for all upcoming events at the zoo by visiting kansascityzoo.org. This is Jack Cowman for Husky Headlines.
Next, Eli goes behind the scenes of a student-made film.
In CAPS filmmaking, it's par for the course that all students produce one short film at the end of their semester. But for Northwest junior Dominic Mills, that's only half of the job. He's not only making one film, but 2.
I have 2 films that I'm working on. One of them is called Director's Cut. It's found footage style horror with a few other like bells and whistles in there, and it's about a group of teenagers filming their own horror movie, and that script that they write comes to life. So it's from the perspective of someone doing the behind the scenes of a horror movie that they're filming. So kind of like a little bit trippy when you think about it, but it'll be awesome when it comes out. Another one is All Through the Late Night, or A Late Night. We're still working on the title of that one. This one is like a cyberpunk movie, and it's more about the world building. That's what's most important. The goal of this film was I wanted to see how big of a scale I could make things with the littlest things as possible. So it's more about the storytelling, the world building, and about a day in the life of a character who goes through all these hardships in this world, and seeing how big we could make that. So
Mills' teacher has picked up on his determination and interest in the business side of filmmaking.
It's been really refreshing to hear how enthusiastic he is for not only his own projects, but just for film in general, and for telling stories and learning how to do it in a professional manner. Dominic is also very curious about the business of filmmaking, so we've had some really cool conversations about how raising money works, how tax credits apply in raising funds, and how distribution works for finished products.
I don't know, it's some of just like wanting to help, but also I have a lot of fun when I'm helping as well. Just the other day, for one of the movies, he got everybody together and we just ate at Red Robin for a bit, just talking about it. Yeah, but frankly, he's been doing a lot of stuff by himself as well, which I have a lot of respect for. Yeah, one of my favorite memories, I'd say, I was wearing like 5 layers in a very hot basement with like 15 people. I got to hit Josiah with a briefcase. I don't know, I find acting fun, especially when there's a good director kind of walking you through it. But like Dominic, he's one of the better ones.
Come catch Dominic's films at the Asperia Theater on May 15th. This is Eli Dunley for Husky Headlines.
That's it for this month's edition of Husky Headlines.
Have a great day, Northwest.